My phone vibrated during Thursday's strategy session, cutting through my presentation about Q4 projections. Instagram notification from Megan. I glanced down reflexively, already knowing I shouldn't look, but the preview text caught my eye. Some wives deserve partners who actually value them. Posted at 9:22 a.m., exactly 15 minutes after she'd messaged me about whether I'd called the lawn service yet, a task she'd mentioned twice already that week. I opened the app under the conference table, my pulse accelerating. 23 likes already, 6 comments streaming in real time as I watched. Her friend Jessica had been first. Exactly this. 3 fire emojis. Brianna followed within seconds. Don't settle for less than you deserve, girl. Lindsay added. Queen behavior crown say it louder for the people in the back. This wasn't the first time. Not even close. 3 months earlier she'd posted. When you realize your standards are higher than his effort level nail polish, that one got 42 likes. I'd seen it during lunch, felt the familiar knot in my stomach, but said nothing when I got home. Just swallowed it down like I always did. 6 weeks before that. Some people marry their best friend. Others marry their biggest project. 61 likes, comments from women I'd met at her work events telling her she deserved better. I'd stopped counting after the 8th or 9th post. Each one a little jab, a public humiliation disguised as empowerment. Each one liked and shared and validated by her echo chamber of friends who'd never once asked if there might be another side to the story. But the photos were worse than the posts. Last month, she'd uploaded a series from her co-worker Brandon's birthday party. In 3 of the 5 photos, different men had their arms around her waist. One guy, some marketing director named Kyle, had his hand resting on her lower back in a way that made my jaw clench. The caption, "Good times with good people party popper." When I'd asked about it that evening, keeping my voice carefully neutral, she'd rolled her eyes. "They're just friends, Oscar. You're being paranoid. Kyle is literally gay, ask anyone at the office." His hand was on your back. It's called being social. Not everyone is as uptight as you. 2 weeks after that, another post. Dinner with the crew, at some upscale restaurant I'd never heard of. She was leaning into some guy named Marcus, both of them laughing, her hand on his chest. The photo was intimate in a way that made something dark twist in my gut. Marcus from yoga, she'd explained dismissively when I'd brought it up. He's just a friend. We were all laughing at something Jen said. You're reading way too much into a photo. Your hand is on his chest, Megan. Oh my God, are you seriously going to police how I pose in photos now? This is ridiculous. I'd let it go, like I always let it go. But I'd started noticing things I'd been ignoring for months. The way she'd angle her body toward other men when we were out together. The laugh she'd use, higher, more musical, when talking to guys at parties, completely different from the flat tone she used with me at home. How she'd touch their arms when making a point, lean in close when they spoke, mirror their body language in ways she never did with me anymore. At her company's summer barbecue, I'd watched her flirt with 3 different men over the course of 2 hours. Nothing overt enough to call out, nothing I could point to as definitive proof. Just a pattern of behavior that made me feel invisible while standing right next to her. When I'd mentioned it in the car ride home, she'd exploded. You're so insecure it's embarrassing. I can't even have a normal conversation with a colleague without you inventing some drama. Maybe if you weren't so boring, I wouldn't need to talk to other people at parties. I'd driven the rest of the way home in silence, her words echoing in my head. Boring. Insecure. Embarrassing. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe this was just how modern marriages worked, and I was too traditional, too possessive, too controlling to understand. So I'd stayed quiet, swallowed my concerns, convinced myself I was being unreasonable. Until this post, posted publicly where everyone could see it, my colleagues, her family, our neighbors, the entire network of 1,400 followers she'd cultivated. Not a private text to her sister. Not a journal entry. This was deliberate, targeted, and unmistakable. The night before, we'd argued about household responsibilities and mental load. I'd pointed out, perhaps more defensively than I should have, that I managed our entire financial infrastructure. The budget spreadsheets, the investment accounts, the insurance policies, the property tax appeals, the retirement planning. She called me condescending and said I was keeping score instead of being a partner. We'd both said things we regretted. We'd gone to sleep on opposite sides of the bed, backs turned, that cold silence filling the space between us. I typed back a single message. You've made your point clear. Then I silenced my phone completely, slid it into my briefcase, and refocused on the presentation. My voice stayed steady as I walked through the revenue projections, but my mind was calculating something entirely different. During lunch, instead of eating at my desk like usual, I drove directly to Pacific Credit Union on Riverside Boulevard. The afternoon sunlight streamed through the tall windows as I approached the teller counter, my heart hammering but my expression calm. I need to move $8,200 from joint savings account ending in 4739 to my personal checking. The teller, a woman in her 50s named Sharon according to her name tag, pulled up the accounts without hesitation. Joint account with equal access rights. No secondary authorization needed, Mr. Harrison. Her fingers moved efficiently across the keyboard. 25 minutes later, our joint savings account balance dropped from $11,400 to $3,200. Years of careful accumulation, the emergency fund we'd built together, reduced by 72% in a single transaction. I headed directly to Velocity Motors on the east side of town. That 2021 Dodge Charger, R/T I'd been monitoring for 8 months, sat prominently in the showroom under bright lights, positioned on a rotating platform like a sculpture. Granite gray metallic paint, 370 horsepower V8 engine, red leather interior. I'm buying it today, I told Marcus, the sales associate who'd been sending me monthly emails. No test drive needed. I know what I want. 2 hours later, $39,500 sticker price, minus $4,200 trade-in for my 2016 Toyota Camry, minus $8,200 down payment. I financed the remaining $27,100 at 3.9% APR over 60 months. Monthly payment, $512. By 6:45 p.m., I pulled into our driveway in a car that announced itself with a deep, rumbling exhaust note that echoed off our neighbors' houses. Megan appeared at the living room window, her silhouette frozen behind the glass. She opened the front door before I reached it. Whose car is that? Mine. Her eyes widened. What happened to the Camry? We're saving for Hawaii. That trip is in 4 months. Actually, we're not anymore. I walked past her into the kitchen. I canceled the vacation package this afternoon. Got $2,600 back from the travel agency, minus their cancellation fee. Applied it to the down payment financing. She followed me, her voice climbing. You can't just cancel our vacation. I've been planning that trip for 8 months. I grabbed a Corona from the refrigerator, twisted off the cap with deliberate slowness. You told everyone a lot of things today, Megan, including that some wives deserve partners who actually value them. Posted it publicly where my boss could see it, where my mother could see it. Well, turns out some vacations aren't as irreplaceable as they think either. Neither are some Instagram-validated marriages. Her face drained of color. That post wasn't about you. I pulled up the timestamp on my phone. Posted at 9:22 a.m., exactly 15 minutes after you texted me about the lawn service. Jessica commented within 2 minutes. She was clearly waiting for it. But you're right, this post wasn't about me. Just like the one 3 months ago about standards versus effort wasn't about me. Or the one about marrying your biggest project. Or the dozen other little digs you've posted over the past year, while I kept my mouth shut and pretended not to notice. You never said anything. I'm saying something now. Friday morning, Megan sat at the kitchen table scrolling frantically through her phone. People are asking questions about your comment. About what's going on with us. Are they wrong to think we have problems? I poured my own coffee. We weren't having problems until you bought a car without consulting me. I turned to face her fully. No, Megan. We've had problems for over a year. I just stopped pretending we don't. At work, colleagues noticed the Charger immediately. By noon, 4 people had commented, including my boss Victoria. Nice ride, Oscar. Didn't know you were a car guy. Turns out I am, I said simply. Instead of eating lunch at my desk, I drove to Elite Auto Detailing. Premium treatment, $380 for paint correction, ceramic coating, full interior detail. Then I walked 3 blocks to Metropolitan Outfitters and spent $940 on fitted button-down shirts, dark designer jeans, a charcoal blazer with modern tailoring. Looking in the fitting room mirror, I saw someone different. Someone who owned a Charger R/T, not someone who apologized for wanting one. At a stoplight on the way back, I took a photo in the rearview mirror, the Charger's interior visible, my reflection clear. Posted it to Instagram. New perspectives. Within minutes, likes poured in. 40, then 60, then 80. Comments from Megan's circle caught my attention. Jennifer, is this your midlife crisis purchase? Face with tears of joy. Ashley, does Megan know about this? Courtney, are you single? Asking for a friend, winking face. I didn't respond. Just let the reactions accumulate. Saturday morning, Megan had surrounded herself with bank statements, our kitchen table transformed into a financial war room. Over $11,000 in 4 days, Oscar. Without consulting me once. Funds withdrawn from a joint account that we both have equal legal access to. Married couples discuss major purchases. I pulled up her Instagram post. This has been shared 19 times now. My project manager's wife saw it through her professional networking group. She asked him if I was okay, if we were having troubles at home. Very professional. I didn't think it would spread like that. You didn't think about me at all. You thought about yourself and what you needed in that moment. I showed her my Instagram DMs, 7 conversations with women I barely knew. These are women from your circle, Megan. Your book club. Your yoga class. They see what you apparently didn't. Someone who has his life together. Someone who's financially stable. Someone who just demonstrated he's not afraid to make decisions. 3 of them have suggested coffee. 2 have been more direct. So you're going to start dating other women? I'm married. I take that seriously, even when you apparently don't. I set my phone down. But you've spent months making sure everyone knows you don't think that marriage is worth much. You can't be surprised when other people start drawing conclusions. Monday morning, Victoria called me into her office. I've noticed a significant change in you over the past few days, Oscar. More decisive in meetings, more confident in your presentations. Whatever's happening in your personal life, it's translating to a stronger professional presence. This is the version of you that should be getting promoted to senior analyst. Thank you, I said, accepting the compliment without deflecting. That evening at Market Fresh, I ran into Jennifer from Megan's book club. She looked guilty when she saw me. Oscar, I feel like I should tell you something. The way Megan talks about you at book club, it doesn't sound like she remembers she's married sometimes. She complains constantly. Some of us started wondering if you were actually the problem she described, or if she just didn't realize what she had. Seeing you this week, I think it's the latter. Jennifer's words confirmed what I'd suspected. The Instagram posts weren't isolated incidents. They were the public manifestation of months of private conversations where she'd been undermining me, reshaping the narrative to cast herself as the long-suffering wife. When I got home, Megan was cooking from scratch, something she only did when very stressed or trying to make amends. Jennifer says hi, I said casually. Megan froze. When did you see Jennifer? Market Fresh. We had an interesting conversation. I leaned against the counter. She said you talk about me at book club like you've forgotten you're married. Said you complain about me regularly, paint me as inadequate. She said some of the women were starting to wonder if I was really the problem, or if you just didn't appreciate what you had. That's just venting. Women vent about their husbands. To 1,400 people on Instagram. In book club every month? 5 women from your social circle have reached out to me this week, Megan. 5. What exactly have you been telling them? Tuesday afternoon, I posted another photo. Me in the office lobby wearing the new blazer, the charger visible through the glass doors behind me. Caption: Some Tuesdays hit different when you stop apologizing for existing. Within hours, 128 likes, 34 comments. But one comment stood out. Megan's ex-boyfriend Brandon Cole. Living right, my man. About time. Megan called within 15 minutes. Brandon is commenting on all your posts now. You need to block him. He's allowed to comment on public posts. People will think we're having serious problems. We are having serious problems, Megan. Your Instagram post invited public speculation. I'm just providing additional data points. She hung up. That evening, she was sitting in our bedroom with her laptop. I deleted the post, she said without looking up. I checked Instagram. Gone. After 19 shares, 67 comments, thousands of impressions. I'm trying to fix this, she said quietly. You can't unpost something, Megan. Digital is permanent. I showed her my screenshots of every comment, every share. You can delete it from Instagram, but you can't delete what it revealed. Wednesday morning, Megan looked exhausted. What do you want from me, Oscar? I want you to understand what you actually did. Not just apologize, actually understand. I posted something hurtful when I was angry. No, you publicly humiliated me for social validation. You got 67 comments agreeing I'm inadequate. You damaged my professional reputation. You undermine me so thoroughly that women I barely know think I'm available. That afternoon, Megan's mother Helen called me. Oscar, I saw screenshots of that comment thread. My daughter was wrong. But what you're doing now, is it actually helping? Or are you just hurting her back? I'm demonstrating that actions have consequences. I understand. But don't lose yourself trying to teach her a lesson. You're fundamentally a good man. Don't become someone you're not proud of. Her words stayed with me. After work, I sat in the Charger in our driveway, composing an Instagram post. A photo from Riverside Park, golden hour lighting, the Charger positioned dramatically against the sunset. Draft caption: 7 days of living authentically. Some bridges burn. Some you choose not to cross. Both are valid choices. This would tell everyone our marriage was effectively over. I saved it as a draft. Didn't post it. Not yet. When I went inside, Megan was waiting, phone face down on the coffee table. I showed her the drafted post. I could post this right now. Everyone would see it. Everyone would understand what it means. She stared at the screen. Please don't post that. Why not? Just expressing my feelings publicly like you did. Because it would end us completely. And I don't want that, Oscar. You seem fine posting something that humiliated me. I was wrong. Completely, totally wrong. She looked at me with genuine vulnerability. What do I have to do to fix this? You can't fix it. You can only decide what happens next. I outlined my terms. First, no public complaints about our relationship. Ever. Second, major decisions get discussed, not demanded. Third, I maintain autonomy. You get input, not veto power. Fourth, you respect me publicly and privately, or we're done. No more talking about me like I'm inadequate to your friends. No more social media posts inviting speculation. Fifth, if you can't maintain these boundaries, we separate. She stared at me. That's not how marriage is supposed to work. It's how this marriage works from now on. Or it doesn't work at all. Friday morning, she initiated the conversation. I've been thinking about everything. You're right. I waited. I was wrong to post that. Wrong about how I've been treating you for months, maybe years. Jennifer called me. So did Ashley and Courtney. 3 of my closest friends told me I was throwing away a good man because I was too busy seeking validation to notice what I had. What changed? They watched you this week, confident, decisive, successful, and they understood why other women were interested. They said I'd been complaining about you for so long that I'd talked myself into believing my own narrative. I want to try, she continued. I want to do better. Trying isn't enough anymore. Either you respect me or you don't. I understand. I accept your terms. All of them. I thought about the drafted Instagram post. I'm not posting that photo. I'm deleting the draft. Relief flooded her face. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it because I'm not interested in destroying you for social media points. I set down my coffee. We'll try this for 90 days. You demonstrate consistent changed behavior. At 90 days, we both evaluate whether this is working. And if it's not, then we separate. File for divorce. Move on. And neither of us will be surprised. The 90 days were harder than either of us anticipated. Week 3, I came home to find Megan crying in the bedroom, her phone clutched in her hand. What happened? I almost posted something. About how hard this is. About how I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. Her voice broke. I had it typed out, ready to go. Then I remembered what you said, and I deleted it. That's progress, I said carefully. It doesn't feel like progress. It feels like I'm censoring myself. You're learning to handle your emotions privately instead of performing them for an audience. There's a difference. Week 7, we went to her co-worker's engagement party. I watched Megan navigate the room differently than before. When Kyle from marketing approached with that same familiar smile, she kept a clear distance, didn't lean in, didn't touch his arm. When he suggested they grab drinks sometime to catch up, she smiled politely and said, I don't think that's appropriate. I noticed. She noticed me noticing. On the drive home, she said quietly, I never realized how much I was doing it. The flirting, the touching, the way I acted around other men. It was like I needed constant proof that I was still attractive, still desirable. I was getting validation from strangers while neglecting the one person whose validation should have mattered most. Week 9, I found her journal on the kitchen counter. She'd left it open, whether intentionally or not. The entry read, Oscar was right about everything. I was performing our marriage problems for social media instead of actually addressing them. I was so busy collecting likes and comments that I forgot what actually matters. I'm terrified he'll realize he's better off without me. I'm terrified I've already lost him. I closed the journal without reading further. That evening, I told her what I'd seen. I didn't read more than one entry. But I want you to know, I'm still here. I'm still trying too. Week 12 arrived faster than expected. We sat on opposite ends of the couch on day 90, the space between us both literal and metaphorical. Well, she asked quietly. I'd thought about this moment for weeks. Rehearsed different versions of this conversation in my head during late-night drives in the Charger. I've seen real changes. The way you handle disagreements now, privately, respectfully. How you interact with other men. How you talk about us to your friends. You've done the work. Hope flickered across her face. But, she prompted, hearing the unspoken qualification. But I don't trust it yet. And I don't know if I ever will again. The silence that followed was heavy. I need more time, I continued. Not another 90-day trial. Just time to see if this is sustainable, if it's real, or if you're just performing a different version of yourself until I let my guard down. How much time? I don't know. Maybe 6 months. Maybe a year. Maybe I'll wake up one morning and realize I've already decided. She nodded slowly, tears tracking down her face. And in the meantime? In the meantime, we keep going. We keep trying. But we also need to be honest about what we're both feeling. What are you feeling? I took a long breath. I'm feeling like the man who read that Instagram post isn't coming back. Like I've fundamentally changed in ways that might not be compatible with who you are. Like maybe we've both been trying to force something that stopped working a long time ago. You want a divorce? I don't know what I want. That's the honest answer. The decision came 4 months later, on an ordinary Tuesday. I was driving home from work in the Charger, windows down, evening air cool against my skin. My phone rang through the car's Bluetooth. Megan. Hey, I was thinking we could try that new Italian place tonight. I made a reservation for 7. Sounds good, I said automatically. Great. Love you. She hung up before I could respond. I realized with sudden clarity that I hadn't said, I love you back in weeks. Maybe months. That the words had stopped coming naturally, stopped feeling true. I pulled into a parking lot, put the car in park, and sat there as the engine rumbled beneath me. This wasn't sustainable. This wasn't a marriage. This was two people going through the motions, hoping that routine and effort could resurrect something that had already died. The Instagram post hadn't killed our marriage. It had just revealed that our marriage was already dead. We'd both just been too afraid to admit it. When I got home, Megan was in the kitchen preparing for dinner, humming softly to herself. We need to talk, I said. She turned, and something in my expression made her freeze. What's wrong? I think we should separate. The color drained from her face. What? Why? I've done everything you asked. I've changed. I've been. I know, I interrupted gently. You have changed. You've done the work. But I can't make myself feel what I used to feel. And I can't keep pretending. She sank into a chair. When did you decide this? About 20 minutes ago, sitting in a parking lot, realizing I couldn't remember the last time I told you I loved you and meant it. Tears spilled down her cheeks. So that's it. After everything, after all the work I've done. The work you did was important. It was necessary. But it doesn't undo what happened. It doesn't bring back what we lost. We could try harder. More counseling. More time. Megan. I sat down across from her. I don't want to try harder. I don't want more time. I want to stop pretending that we're going to fix this. The silence stretched between us. I'll stay with my brother for a while, I finally said. We can figure out the logistics, the house, the finances, all of it. But I think we both know this has been over for a long time. She didn't argue. Didn't plead. Just sat there, tears running down her face, nodding slowly. I'm sorry, she whispered. For all of it. For the posts, for the disrespect, for not seeing what I had until it was too late. I know you are. Is there anything I can say that would change your mind? I thought about that question honestly. Thought about the man I'd been before the Charger, before the Instagram post, before I'd stopped apologizing for existing. No, I said finally. There isn't. 6 months later, I was signing the final divorce papers in my attorney's office. Clean split, no drama, no contested assets. We divided everything fairly, sold the house, moved on with our separate lives. My attorney, a sharp woman named Patricia, slid the papers across the desk. That's it. Once the judge signs off, you're officially single. I picked up the pen, hesitated for just a moment, then signed my name with steady hands. That evening, I sat in the Charger in the empty parking lot of what used to be our favorite restaurant. The place where we'd celebrated anniversaries, promotions, birthdays. Where we'd talked about buying a house, having kids someday, building a future together. I pulled out my phone, opened Instagram, and composed one final post. A photo of the sunset through the Charger's windshield, the sky painted in oranges and purples. Caption: some chapters end. Not with drama or regret, but with the quiet recognition that you've both outgrown the story you were telling. Here's to new beginnings. I posted it, then turned off my phone. The notifications could wait. The likes, the comments, the speculation, all of it could wait. For the first time in over a year, I felt genuinely at peace. The man who'd read that Instagram post months ago, the man who'd swallowed his anger, ignored the warning signs, convinced himself that love meant tolerating disrespect, he was gone. And I would never be him again. I started the engine, felt the Charger rumble to life beneath me, and drove toward whatever came next. Alone, but no longer lonely. Free, finally, to build a life that didn't require anyone's validation but my own. Thank you for watching the video to the end. YouTube may no longer suggest my channel to you, so subscribe to it to receive new interesting stories. You will also help the channel grow and improve the quality of its content. A playlist with other interesting stories that you can listen to is now displayed on the screen. You can also write in the comments what stories you would like to see on the channel.